You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Friday the 5th of September 2025. It is 77 days after the summer solstice. It is 17 days before the fall equinox. In the U.S. Open today, men's semifinals are underway. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 19th day of Fructidor, the day of the Tagette, the Mexican marigold. The sun rises today at 6:27 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:54 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:21 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 7:49 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:22 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 37 seconds, shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing gibbous phase and is 95% full at midday. The full moon will arrive on Sunday, the 7th of September. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the wee hours, low tide, 2:45 a.m., 12 centimeters. In the morning, high tide, 9:04 a.m., 1 meter 40. In the afternoon, low tide, 3 p.m., 21 centimeters. At night, high tide, 9:20 p.m., 1 meter 62. In our shared realm of plants and animals, in some parts of the world, cultural events are often tied into the agricultural cycle. That's less so in New York City. After all, chemically flavored pumpkin-spiced lattes don't really count. But this week has been Fig Week in Astoria. A number of local restaurants, including Vite Vinosteria on 34th Street, have added fig-themed dishes to their special menus. On Sunday, Fig Week culminates with a day-long fig festival at the 31st Avenue open streets between 33rd and 35th Streets. A block-long table will be set up for a potluck where neighbors will share a meal. People are encouraged to bring fig-themed dishes. We welcome a tribute to the fig, so woven into the culture of this Greek and Italian neighborhood. Commemorations. On this day in 1646, the first public library in the Americas was established. It was created by Juan de Palafox y Mendoza, the Bishop of Puebla in Mexico. The bishop donated 5,000 of his own books to the Colegio de San Juan in the city of Puebla on the condition that they be made available to the general public. He once wrote that a person without books is, quote, in an inconsolable darkness, on a mountain without company, on a path without a crozier, in darkness without a guide, unquote. The Biblioteca Palafoxiana exists to this very day. On this day in 1698, Tsar Peter I of Russia imposed a tax on men's beards. It was part of his move to modernize Russia and bring its customs more into line with the rest of Europe. The police were allowed to forcibly and publicly shave any man who refused to pay the tax. For the nobility, the military, and those in government, the tax for keeping a beard was 60 rubles annually. A token was given on payment that showed on one side the Russian double-headed eagle, and on the other a nose with mustache and whiskers. Peasants, largely unaffected by the law, were charged 2 half-kopecks every time they entered a city. On this day in 1882, the first Labor Day parade in American history took place in Manhattan. It was a rather improvised affair. The day was hot. The police were a bit on edge, not quite knowing what would ensue. At 10 a.m., the Grand Marshal of the parade, William McCabe, was in position to begin, but he had no marchers. Then 200 members of the Jewelers Union of Newark arrived by ferry with a marching band. The parade got underway, and as they marched up Broadway, more and more workers joined the procession. By noon, the large crowd had arrived at what is today Bryant Park at 42nd Street. Flags and banners and more marching bands had joined the parade along the route, making for a festive atmosphere. Speeches were given, and the crowd dispersed, many making their way up Manhattan to 96th and 9th, where picnics and kegs of beer stretched the revelry into the night. Perhaps 10,000, maybe even 20,000 people took part in that very first Labor Day parade. On this day in 1977, the Voyager 1 space probe was launched by NASA. After its flybys of Jupiter, Saturn, and Saturn's largest moon, Titan, Voyager continued a journey out of the solar system. It became the first spacecraft to cross the heliopause in August 2012, leaving the area radiated by our sun's solar wind. It continues to send messages to Earth, although it is expected it will lose this capability within a few years, and then it will be on its own, arcing a path through interstellar space. And that is the Observatory, Friday the 5th of September, 2025.